you know, instead of arguing. Now, we all know someone who owns a lot of shoes, but perhaps not as many as Northampton Museum, with what's thought to be the largest collection in the whole world.
It owns 12,000 pairs, but can only display 1,000 at a time. So it's now offering tours of its storeroom. Here's Joel Mapp.
In a warehouse in the centre of Northampton is a treasure trove. Row after row of shoeboxes, and inside every one, a pair of heeled history. Keeper of the shoes Rebecca Shawcross has catalogued all 11,000.
The longer you work with a collection, the more you get to know it, and so, you know, I'm pretty computer-minded in terms of like a little Rolodex of shoes in my brain. It's a very good opening to a conversation if you've never met anybody before and they go, what do you do? And you go, well, I look after, you know, probably the world's largest collection of shoes. And they, A, think I'm joking to start off with, and then it's like, oh, shoes. We've got a number of Chinese bound-foot shoes. These are pretty small.
That's for an adult woman?
It is. But when they were very young, they would have their feet bandaged up, and that got tighter and tighter as they got older, and eventually you'd end up with a very small foot that would fit perfectly in these little shoes.
Some of the famous footwear here includes a pair of ballet shoes worn by Margot Fonteyn, and these racy men's boots which appeared in the film Kinky Boots. And with these 1950s designer Dior's comes the original box from Saks on Fifth Avenue. But it's not just shoes here. This is what I like very much. They're like little hot water bottles from the 19th century. You'd put hot water in the top, and then after about 20 minutes, you'd have warm shoes to get into in the morning. The height of luxury. There's simply not enough room for all the shoes at the museum, so Rebecca's now offering warehouse tours. Inside every shoebox here is a story. 11,000 footsteps back into history. Joel Mapp, BBC Look East, Northampton.
Now, the World Cup is just 17 days away, and tonight England play their last home game before it all kicks off in South Africa.
So where better to launch our own World Cup campaign than on Wembley Way? And who better than Mike Liggins, 4 years after he first became World Cup Mike. Here he is.
He's back.
Yes, for the next 6 weeks, I am World Cup Mike. I'm your World Cup reporter. And the idea of World Cup Mike is that you send me your stories, your photographs, your videos, your emails. Do get in contact. Now, these guys are from Essex, from the village of Henham. They have produced a World Cup song which goes a little bit like this.
Bring it back to dear old Blighty, put it on a plane to London town. No more messing about, we've got to be in with a shout. Brazil, Spain or Germany will knock you out. I just want to see my England lifting up the cup for all to see. Whoa! Tiddly-iddly-ighty, bring it back to writing. Blighty is the place to be.
Bring it back to Blighty. Let's have a word with Mo Park, who's the man behind the song. Tell us a little bit about the history.
Well, it's inspired by a 1916 song from the trenches, Take Me Back to Dear Old Blighty. We then recomposed it and re-lyricked it. Me and the guy there, the big guy with the big hat.
And then you all got in the village hall, made the video.
Yep. I live in a wonderful village called Henham. I've got some wonderful mates there, and here are some of them today. And none of them had any compunction about jumping into it with me and just recording this wonderful song.
The sad news is that none of you have got tickets for tonight's game.
No, well, we did have some, but we could only get 3, so we gave them away.
How are England going to do in the World Cup?
England's going to win the World Cup, Mike.
You're joking, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Oh, look, we've got a Mexican fan. Hey! At least she's good looking. All right, before we have another rendition of Bring It Back to Blighty, just to remind you to get in contact, you can email World Cup Mike and you can follow me on Twitter. And now we have Bring It Back to Blighty, led by Morris Park. Away you go.
Here we go, lads. 1, 2, 3.
Bring it back to dear old Blighty, put it on a plane to London town. No more messing about, we gotta be in with a shout. Brazil, Spain or Germany will knock you out. shout. I just want to see my England lifting up the cup for all to see. Whoa! Tiddly-iddly-ighty, bring it back to Blighty. Blighty is the place to be.
Hey, very good.
Very nice.
What a great sound. He had a crib sheet, though, didn't he?
He did have it. He was reading his notes. I like the guy's pith helmet he had there. It was really cool.
Very, very good.
Now, pith helmets were